Hello, everyone. Happy December. We've survived this long. Good news. Probably good news. Is it good news?
Yes.
I'd do anything to wrap this year up. So yeah.
Yes. Should we wrap the year in crappy old newspaper or sparkly, shiny wrapping paper and put a little bow on it?
Comic strips.
Sparkling.
Wrap it with the comics from the Sunday newspaper.
Do they still make those?
You know, that's a great question.
I have no idea.
I like the Family Circle. That was one of my favorite ones.
Family Circus. Yep, I remember
Family Circle.
Oh, Family Circle. Was it Family Circle? I thought it was Family Circus.
There were both.
Oh,
they were both. Okay.
Well, then there you go. That's why. Yes,
Family Circus came in a circle. It was a single frame in the Sunday paper, but sometimes there was it's not important. But then there was also Family Circle, which was a syndicated opinion column.
Okay. Well, yeah, I wouldn't have read that.
Newspapers are weird, which may be why they're basically extinct.
Yeah.
Well, you have people like us to deliver the news nowadays, so why would you need to read a paper? You can just listen to us, and it's much more fun, and we're better to look at. So I'm just
much better.
It's undeniably true.
And we're cheaper than a newspaper, just saying.
Well, okay, so we're included with your subscription to whatever the internet service provider you have, because you have to have your computer or other device. You have to have some kind of data access. There's like a whole bunch of things you have to pay for to get to us. But if you have all those things, we're included free.
Free gift with purchase. See, isn't this what you want to see when you open up your morning newspaper or the internet? You know, you just click a button and immediately it's good morning. I know you all like that.
Try that again.
Hi, good morning.
Ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille?
Paint me like one of your French girls.
We're worth every money spent.
Exactly. Every penny spent. Well, good to see everybody. How have you been? How was your weekend? I missed everybody. I wasn't around too much because I was digging in the dirt and trash and stuff in my house.
Well, you know,
that's fair.
We had turkey dressing and all that good stuff. We had our Friendsgiving Saturday. We went to the Mexican restaurant. It's called Local Bar, and then we went to the burlesque show. But only 3 of us went to the burlesque show. And it was kind of bad because it was kind of bad. But when it first started, it wasn't that bad. It eventually got worse at the end of the night. People was like, well, it might snow, so we don't want to come.
Wait, so it was bad outside? Or
it was snowing, yeah. Well,
okay. When it was bad inside.
When it first happened, it snowed yet. And it snowed once we got the thing started. When it started snowing, it was almost done. Started snowing real bad, but it wasn't as bad as what people said it was gonna be to me.
Well, that's good.
But people, when they see snow, they get scared, whatever.
And they start driving like Looney Tunes, like pumping their brakes all the time and 5 miles per hour, or they're in a huge truck and they're going like freaking 50 when it's a 35.
I don't know what they want.
It's either or.
Yeah. But we had fun. No, there was only 3 of us who went to the burlesque show. We had fun.
Down here, the moment there is even a hint of ice anywhere, nobody's driving. Like
that's different though, because that's different. Hey, Mark, that's different.
In Ontario, where we get a ton of snow, people forget how to drive with the first snowfall.
It's literally true in Texas. When I was an over-the-road driver, I was driving on I-10 near El Paso, and Bree, I don't think Bree got to experience a winter in El Paso. One snowflake, literally one, and they shut down the highway for 3 days. Now, granted, during those 3 days, more than one snowflake showed up, but details, they closed the highway because of one snowflake, and it was still only a dusting, even at its worst.
Yeah, my daughter was like, she hope it snows again, so that she's a teacher, so that she's able to miss work. They cancel school, and I said, "Well, then what about me? They don't cancel my job if it snows. I got to come to work regardless." And she was like, "Sucks to be you then."
It's just
that's not fair. That's not fair.
That's one of the downsides of remote jobs. Is no matter how bad the weather gets, you don't have to commute, so you have no excuse. I mean, I'll still take being able to work where my sandwiches are, but still.
Did anybody else do anything for this? Like, I don't celebrate the holiday, but it's a day off. You know, most people have a day off. Did anybody do anything else with family? Or
we nearly had a huge fiasco on Thanksgiving.
Hot
due
dog.
to everybody's favorite dog. We're sitting there around the table eating, and I see my grandson's on the other side, and he's going, looking around my mom. Couldn't find out. Kip's sitting there with her nose about this far away from the ham.
That's what you get for having ham on Turkey Day.
To grab it.
She's trying to enforce the religious laws. Turkey Day is for turkey, damn it.
My dog's an atheist.
How dare you have ham? This is a travesty. It's blasphemous. Did anybody else do anything?
I ripped up flooring.
Oh, that sounds fun.
The little spiky things that have to go around the outskirts.
Oh, the tack strips.
The carpet is. Yeah. Yes. And I punched myself while I was doing it. So that was fun.
Ow. Well, you're not supposed to do that, Jess. I didn't know if you knew that.
I didn't, but now I've learned.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, now you know. Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Life lesson.
No. I got to play D&D with this.
That lady?
Yeah, that lady over there.
I forgot about Friday night. Oh, damn it. I feel so bad. Every freaking Friday, I tell myself, remember that tonight they're going to be playing games and doing stuff on the server.
Oh, yeah. Man.
So if anybody got together this week.
Oh, yeah. Then we was on a Dr. Ben's channel. Me and you used to be able to play a game together.
That's right. There's more games than ever in the atheosphere. There's the damn server does a thing. Dr. Ben does a thing. And then, you know, on the weekend, Jess was just talking about we've begun a new reign of terror in a mysterious land. With Mark and Austin, and yeah, it's literally an adventure. That's what they're for. But like we just started. We don't know what's happening yet. It's fine.
What's happening?
That's what
I ask every morning. I do the out of bed, and I'm like, what is happening? I listen for the sound of darkness.
Honestly, with the way the news is, you have to. I wake up every morning. I'm like, okay, we're still here. I don't see ice outside. Okay, so that's good. All right, the sun's still in the sky. Who got bombed last night? Was it a boat? Was it a country? Was it a city? Was it civilians? You know, that's my morning. Good to be alive. Well,
that kind of leads us to today's topic, because you may be thinking it's about one thing, but it's actually about something else. It's a little bit of a bait and switch. It's a December surprise, you might say, because here in the US, we've been under a terroristic regime for 11 months-ish, give or take. And we've already reached a point where every time something happens, we assume there's a bombing or a shooting or an entire city was just abducted in the night or something. Oh no, that's not how the rest of the world actually works. That's not how things used to work here either. But we live in an insane world now. No, what's been happening is Lord Farquaad from the Middle East. I'm trying to find the fucking page. There it is.
Lord Farquaad.
Love that.
He's so.
Oh, God.
As you know, Netanyahu has been charged with war crimes, but that's not what he's seeking the pardon for. This is from the BBC, and it's fresh yesterday. Because again, in the US, we need international news to get any news because our state media is not telling us what the fuck is going on in the world.
Mm-hmm. Can't trust it.
I know it seems like we have capitalist media, but not anymore. We don't do that here. So, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has asked the country's president, separate person, Isaac Herzog, for a pardon over corruption cases he's been battling. The president's office said Herzog would receive opinions from justice officials before considering the request, which carries with it significant implications. Netanyahu has been standing trial for the past 5 years on charges of bribery, fraud, and breach of trust in connection with 3 separate cases. He, of course, denies all wrongdoing. He said in a video message that he would have preferred to see the process to the end, but national interests demand otherwise. The Israeli opposition says he should admit guilt before seeking a pardon, because you have to actually be a criminal to be pardoned from your crimes, you see, in insane countries. Anyway, earlier this month, U.S. President Donald Trump urged Herzog to fully pardon Netanyahu. Trump, of course, being the same guy who just pardoned a former dictator who smuggled 400 tons of cocaine into the U.S. because the war on drugs is his primary concern. But never mind that. At the time, Herzog made it clear that anyone seeking a pardon had to submit a formal request. On Sunday, his office released the request and a letter by Netanyahu himself in light of the importance of this extraordinary request and its implications. It offered no indication when the president might reach a decision. Now, some background. In 2020, Benjamin Netanyahu became the first serving Israeli prime minister to stand trial because 2020 is the era of corruption. In the first case, prosecutors alleged that he had received gifts, mainly cigars and bottles of champagne, from powerful businessmen in exchange for favors. Here in the US, we've got Tim Cook handing the president gold bricks on national television, but that's fine.
Right?
This man receives a bottle of wine and a cigar, and there's a corruption trial. Do you see? And remember, this is a motherfucker who's killed over 70,000 innocent people over a handful of hostages.
Yep.
But let's talk about the cigars and the bottle of wine.
Yeah. And that's probably
The
not
world
even
is off the
that's
fucking
just
hinges.
scratching the surface, honestly.
It's almost like they're trying to distract from the absurd war crimes with these. Oh, well, you didn't, wipe the mustard off your lips after your bologna sandwich. You have to go to prison now. Like, it's such irrelevant bullshit.
Right.
But still, we care about the rule of law in other countries, in theory. In the second case, he's accused of offering to help improve the circulation of a newspaper in exchange for positive coverage. So there we go. Newspapers do still exist, or at least did in 2020. Like, consider... This is toenail clippings compared to the corruption mountain of Trump, but whatever. In the third case, prosecutors have alleged that he promoted regulatory decisions favorable to the controlling shareholder of an Israeli telecoms company in exchange for positive coverage by a news website. Like, Trump will not let your news station to exist unless it promises positive coverage of him 24/7. He will sue your news organization for billions of dollars if you do not suck his dick 24/7.
Yeah. You have to cower.
But okay. Netanyahu pleaded not guilty to all the charges and branded the trial as a witch hunt by political opponents. Bestie, you have committed actual war crimes. They don't need to drum up some extra cases. Holy shit.
Right?
And Sunday. Go ahead.
There's also been multiple international organizations that have straight up said, yes, this is a genocide.
Right. And even ones from Israel. Like, it's not just, you know, like the UN or anything like that. There's also organizations inside of Israel that have said the same exact thing.
I don't know a single person in genocidal studies academia that would look at this and be like, no, unless they're like previously biased for some reason. But just about everybody I know is like, yeah, it's a genocide. Like, hands down. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it.
Nope.
It's oh my goodness.
Mark is explaining in chat something that I didn't understand. So because the president is in parliamentary democracies, sorry, it's moving, is largely ceremonial, except that they may have power to remove the PM. So how could anyone explain to me the hierarchy of like Israeli politics? Like, because I thought Netanyahu was the man in charge. Am I incorrect?
It varies depending on the specifics of each country's individual constitution. As a general rule, the prime minister is the chief administrator. They administer because they're a minister. That's what they do. And all the other ministers like run agencies and shit. England is slightly weird because their ministers are they're elected officials, and the people who run ministries are also called ministers. So it's England, whatever. The president is the elected head of the legislative body. So that's the person who is in charge of making the laws, whereas the prime minister uses the laws to run things, in theory, in most countries. But again, your constitution may vary. It technically, we have a similar thing in the US insofar as the president operates as prime minister, the chief administrator, and the president of the Senate just keeps the Senate operating and technically has the power to remove the president if, you know, anyone cares about the law anymore. Like, the House has to vote to impeach, but the president of the Senate conducts the trial and so on and so forth. Mark says I am completely incorrect. I'm American. I'm doing my best. Our education here is very limited.
And I
has been for decades.
Other people's governments, so.
Okay. Mark says the head of state is largely ceremonial, but may have powers over the prime minister. Well, okay. It depends on your constitution. Like, if you're in a monarchy, for example, then the head of state is whoever the monarch is, and they often have like no powers except the ability to dismiss the prime minister, or technically other ministers, like how England does. You know, the king can dismiss people. They serve at the leisure of the monarch, but they rarely exercise that power. Things like this. So it varies. Mark says the president does not run the legislature, although they may be the ceremonial head of the legislature, like for opening and closing. Again, it varies with your constitution. Like here in the US, for example, the president of the Senate is a voting member of the Senate who also runs meetings and things. And it also depends on what you mean by run. So constitutions vary, as I say, but I will grant that probably many countries do it very, very differently from my understanding.
All I know is that everyone in their government is committing genocide. So that's how I'd put that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in Sunday's Defiant video message, Netanyahu claimed that the cases against him were collapsing. I'm winning, folks. It's going to be the biggest victory you've ever seen. We're going to build a wall. But that process was tearing Israel apart from within. It's his corruption trials over bottles of wine and newspaper coverage that's tearing the country apart. That's the real issue.
Yeah. That'll do it.
Quote, I am certain, as many others in the nation, that an immediate end to the trial would greatly help lower the flames and promote broad reconciliation, something our country desperately needs, the prime minister added. Netanyahu said he was being required to testify before the court 3 times a week, describing that as an impossible demand. Bestie, you're on a criminal trial. You are being tried for crimes, and you're like, oh, I can't go testify just because I'm, The
I can't
fuck?
do it. I'm too busy killing everybody in Palestine. This is too hard for me.
For real. It's just,
Mhm.
my goodness. A pardon, he insisted, would help Israel fend off threats and seize opportunities by fostering
bitch.
national
Oh.
unity.
There's
He
always
needs a
threats.
pardon because he alone is standing at the border of Gaza and preventing Hamas from coming across. He's doing it by himself.
His finger, his little pinky finger is the one doing it.
Yep, blocking that hole in the Iron Dome, the Iron Dike. Oh goodness, that's a biography. The Iron Dike.
Oh dear.
That
Oh no.
I would definitely watch it.
Fuck Netanyahu. I'm keeping that one for me. Opposition leader Yair Lapid, my apologies, Israeli friends, for pronunciation, said there could be no pardon without an admission of guilt, an expression of remorse, and Netanyahu's immediate retirement from political life. Golan, a left-wing politician and former deputy commander of Israeli forces, said only the guilty seek a pardon. Which is not exclusively true, but again, I'm an American. We're used to seeing innocent people sent to prison because someone rich and powerful benefits from that. But never mind. According to Israel's basic law, the president, quote, has the power to pardon criminals and reduce or transmute their sentence. However, Israel's High Court of Justice has previously ruled that the president can pardon an individual before they're convicted if it is in the public interest or if there are extreme personal circumstances. Netanyahu's right-wing Likud party and his supporters have always supported a pardon for their leader. Of course they have, of course. But for many in Israel, especially on the left, it would be seen as another move away from the country's sense of itself as a robust democracy with a strong legal system.
Yeah, it has a legal system. It's a strong, robust democracy over there in Israel. You know,
It's
just-
true.
they just bomb people when they want to and kidnap people and put them in prison when they want to. That is what I like about democracy, and especially since we're doing it here in this country with ICE. It's wonderful. It probably on my list of the reasons why I love democracy would be those. Lock me up, please, just for speaking. I like that.
Yeah.
I know. It's a Zorkra says it's a strong legal system that can't jail Yahoo. Yeah.
Exactly. If it was a strong legal system, that dude wouldn't be in
genocide. It can't. It just. What are we doing? What? So I realize everybody has complicated feelings about Israel, and I'm no exception. Like, it's easy to be angry at a state that oversteps, but there's also like people in the state,
Mhm.
and it's
Yeah.
we have.
It's
I get
difficult. It really is difficult, and especially considering that there are surveys that have been released. The guys for the dumpster are here to pick it up. That's why she's upset. But there's been surveys they've taken of people in Israel to determine how they feel about what's happening in Palestine and with Netanyahu, and just to take their temperature. And it's like 70-80% are like cool with what's happening. Like, even if it wasn't Netanyahu in charge, they'd want somebody else to be committing a genocide. There's only a very small percentage, like 20%, who are opposed to what's happening.
What's the difference between us, that and here? These MAGA people don't come to the same thought process. They don't care.
Right.
It's sad.
They're okay with putting children into camps and zip tying.
Exactly.
And here's one of the things that drives me crazy about all the right-wing people saying, bomb the Shah of Palestine. But they scream and whine about Christian oppression here. They do realize there is a sizable chunk of Palestinians who are Christian that are also getting slaughtered.
There used to be, I think, like 10,000 just a couple years ago, and now that's dwindled down to like 2 or 3 because of so many that they've they've killed and targeted the churches. You know, all the churches are gone. The mosques have been destroyed.
They're persecuting the Christians in Gaza.
And that's
The
what
US
like,
needs to do
this
something
to me,
about it.
it's so diabolical, Ember. It's so freaking diabolical that we can be angry about countries in Africa that they accuse of being deplorable, horrible, harming Christians, attacking Christians, targeting them. But yet you have a clear indication of churches being bombed to oblivion in Palestine, and everybody turns the other cheek. Looks
Because
the other way.
they believe what they think what they're told to think. They don't think about things for themselves. This is what makes them Christian, is the in unwillingness to question what they've been told by people they consider to have authority. If they question, like you've all heard the deconversion stories, like Godless Granny comes to mind, for example. Like she just believed because that's how she was raised to believe, until finally she had reason to even question the flood of Noah. She saw that banner that said genocide and incest park. Incense is a different thing. And she went, wait a second. If the flood really happened, they would have had to incest to repopulate the earth. And that's crazy. In fact, this whole flood thing is crazy. In fact, this whole fucking story about a dirt man and a rib woman eating a magic fruit from a talking snake, and so you have to invite a fucking undead carpenter ghost to come live inside you to protect you from the curse of the rib woman is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
The rib woman, everybody.
Feel, Ember.
We're rib women. We're the McRib. We are the McRib of women.
Wasn't there a whole thing, and like biblically, that the word rib in that particular verse is tsela, and everywhere else in the Bible it means side, not rib, and that kind of got in my head a little bit, and I was like, oh, I see the patriarchy here. Okay, I see what's going on.
There's I'm pretty sure that Dr. Kip and Dr. Jen, Dr. Jennifer Bird has discussed at length, like what the different words mean and what it could actually, be happening in that story, and that she's meant to be not like someone subservient to him, but somebody who had to come rescue him, because there's other places in the Bible where that word is used as a helper, like a military helper. So was she there to just follow behind him, or was she there to be by his side to fight whatever may come? Who knows? I wonder.
I was listening to Thinker, watching the TikTok, and Thinker was talking about that she felt, and she had a song where it was like Adam was manipulative and probably made up the story and how he probably was the one, and she used the fruit to try to get away because what the serpent said, because he was under control.
I like that idea better. She was like, you know what? Did you say that if I eat this fruit that I'll be out of? Oh, okay. This one?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. It made you think. Thinker had me thinking.
Yeah.
My thinker got
as we've all heard many times, the story has been written and rewritten and rewritten, and was originally oral in the first place and was imported from other cultures and blended stories put together and whatnot. It's not unreasonable that in an earlier edition of the story, it said, if you eat of this fruit, you can't live here anymore. And people heard live here and said, oh, well, you'll die, because if you can't live, you'll die. But it was originally an eviction notice. And then when the fruit was eaten, okay, you know the rule, get out.
Yeah, bye.
But who knows? Without a time machine, we have no way to go check any of these hypotheses.
Were you there?
I think you need more than a time machine.
Yeah.
Although
we do occasionally get a time machine, effectively. In the last 100 years, we found 2 big old batches of scrolls and shit, like the Dead Sea Scrolls and the other ones. And, they've been there for thousands of years. we don't know when the next one is going to show up and scrolls don't last super long. It was only because the jars were sealed they lasted as long as they did, and they're still mostly fragments. But stone tablets, those tend to last a little longer. So we just never know. It could be 100 years, 200 years, whatever, and we find something that's 3,000 years old,
Let's hope. I mean, we only discovered what was found in Ugarit in 1930s, right? So that's not that long ago. It's not even 100 years ago yet. So who knows what could be discovered that completely blows everything out of the water that we've ever known about the Bible.
Yeah.
Even more so than Ugarit did. Yeah, the Nag Hammadi library too. The Qumran skulls.
I keep hoping we'll find Alexandria. So we know where Alexandria was, but the library, it was destroyed and burned. But there's some rumors that there was an earthquake that destroyed the first library, and then they rebuilt it, and it was the second library that burned. And if that very unlikely legend turns out to be true, we may find the original library hidden in a chasm in the earth or something. Probably not. Almost definitely not. But it would be cool if we did.
That would be so awesome.
But also, it's worth noting, every Alexandria had a library. It wasn't just the one in Egypt. That one just had more books because it was on the Mediterranean, and so it was a center of trade. There was another Alexandria in Turkey that we did still keep the library from into the Byzantine Empire period. And so a lot of the stuff that was in that Library of Alexandria was in the other Alexandria's library too. Not all of it, but a lot. So it isn't as much lost knowledge as you might think. However, we did still have the Dark Ages between then and now, when the church just deleted everything but the Bible from everywhere. Blah.
Boo. Boo hiss. Or didn't preserve, it's not just what they copied. It's the fact that there's so much they didn't copy that got lost to time that was very popular, probably even more so popular than a lot of the books that are contained in the canon as it stands. And some that are in there that almost didn't make it, like Revelation.
Revelation shouldn't have made it. That thing is fucking crazy sauce.
Oh my gosh.
Every book that's in there isn't in there for theological purity or accuracy of its. It's for political reasons. Everyone was chosen for political reasons. The verses that it contains that can be used to control the people.
It's propaganda.
Exactly.
They had a narrative, and they knew which scriptures would fit their agenda. Yeah, somebody should write a book on that. I wonder.
God's propaganda. It'd be
good.
It'd be a good punk band too. Come to think of it.
Actually, I think it makes a better punk band than it does a book. Who would write a book and name it God's propaganda? I wouldn't.
No idea.
I wouldn't buy a book named God's. That's silly. That's absolutely just silly talk.
I don't see nothing in your hand.
Right? Can you see through me?
Yes, I can see right through you. I can see right through you.
It's an invisibility shield. I mean, that's a lovely looking book. It's a pity that we are legally not allowed to read the title because it's clearly redacted. I'm sure it'd be a fascinating book, though.
I'm just waiting for that imaginary book to be audible.
Same. I'm like, I've got one credit set aside. I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, I have a couple.
Keeps fucking around with the Weasel and Nitty on Saturdays and doing whatever they do.
Sometimes for me, it's just easier to absorb if I feel like somebody's talking to me. So listening to audiobooks, I feel like somebody's telling me a story versus me trying to, because sometimes I just can't. I just have to restart. But if I listen, it's just like I'm listening to, you guys talk or YouTube videos. My brain, for whatever reason, tends to listen. I don't know.
It's an interesting thing because, like, remember, we've always been storytellers. Written language is a more recent innovation. It's only been around for a few thousand years. That's not enough time for evolution to catch up, and even then, storytelling has had a head start that I think is insurmountable.
Oral traditions.
We love oral.
That wasn't the oral kind of tradition I was talking about, but I mean, if you want to go there. No, but oral traditions, not the sexual ones, but storytelling, it's what we did. End of a long day, sit around the fire, tell your family stories.
Have you read this thing? It is full
I wouldn't be telling
all kinds of sexual
I wouldn't tell those
traditions
stories. I wouldn't be telling those stories. maybe like I would, like, Samson isn't horrible. It's not great, but Samson isn't horrible. I think that would be a cool story that you could pass along. There's some other ones in there that are pretty mild. Some of the other ones
is never cut your hair.
That is an important lesson. I made that mistake once when I joined the Navy, and I'm still working on growing it back all these years later. Now, granted, there's more story in between, but the point is, don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah, like Lot and his daughters definitely wouldn't be. That should not have gone in there. That would be embarrassing.
Lot was a righteous man, though. So Dr. J. Bundy and I have started a series, adult Bible study. And you mean adult. We're going through the passages like that. Like, Lot was a righteous man because he tried to give the town full of rapists his 2 virgin daughters. Do with them what you will, he says, because he's a righteous man. This is the standard of
Taliban. Yeah.
But biblically, that is the standard of righteousness. Like, there's people currently, Christians, Zionists. I guess I should say Zionists because they're all different religions currently are Zionists, but they have those very similar standards. If you're a righteous person, like if Netanyahu is a righteous person, who he kills doesn't matter because the end, the means justifies it. Same with the freaking David, King David, raping a woman who had no choice, right? Like, she didn't have a choice to say no. Bathsheba couldn't say, like, no, I don't want to F you. He just went and took her, and then had the nerve to kill her hubs, and then God punishes Bathsheba by killing the baby. Like, the F are we talking about here?
People give George R.R. Martin shit for coming up with the most horrible, incestuous nonsense. He just read the Bible. That's all he needed to do is, I'm going to take this woman and then I will sneakily send her husband off to war where he will definitely die. And then he does. And it's all right there.
Yeah. Right to the front of the line, basically. He's like, how can I get rid of this guy so nobody knows that she's actually having my baby? Oh, okay. We'll just send him to the front of the line. I'm sure he'll be taken care of quite easily.
The guidebook for all moral standards, which explains why the people who believe it seem to have no moral standards.
Right?
Yeah,
At all.
I guess what gets me is a few stories in there that tries to seem innocent, like the Ruth story. But once you start digging deeper, you're like, oh. You go to this man, he tells you what you're supposed to do.
Uncover his feet.
Yeah.
They are very into feet in those stories, aren't they?
Yeah.
Go suck his wiener when he's sleeping. He gonna love ya.
Yes.
He's gonna fall in love.
Yes. So that's crazy.
It is crazy. But you would think that if you weren't from this world and somebody told you what morals were, you'd be like, okay, morals are this. Okay, I have a good understanding what morals are. And then they show you the Bible and they said, this is a moral book. They'd say, no, that's antithetical. What do you mean this is a moral book? You just told me what your morals are, but yet your God goes and kills people randomly and does all these things that you say we shouldn't do. Oh, well, that's different. That's
God,
different.
Yeah.
Because I have special pleading because he's God. Therefore, He can do what he wants. Oh, okay.
Well, we've tried that test before, right? Like several of us creators and several other channels besides have done things where we'd be talking with a theist or something, and they'd be like, "Oh, objective morality, blah blah blah." And I said, "Okay, let's test your objective morality. If you, for example, had a custody dispute, right? So you're like, say you're the bailiff in a courtroom. So you're watching these proceedings, and these two women come in, and they're both claiming custody of this one child. And the judge says, easy solution, cut the child in half. What would you think that's objectively immoral? And they say, no, that's horrible. Why would, holy shit, if they cut the baby in half, then nobody gets a baby because the baby dies. That's a horrible story. Why would you say that? You don't even know that, because they haven't read their own book. They don't even know that's one of the classic parables held up as Solomon being so wise, because
smart he was.
And that was in the children's Bible when I was a kid, the children's Bible.
Yep. That's exactly. It was in my book of Bible stories, the orange book with the golden writing that every kid have. That was like one of my favorite stories, because he was so smart that he was able to figure out, get to the bottom of who the real mother was. No, you wouldn't have had to do that. You didn't have to take it that far. Now that I'm a mother, there's no way in heck I wouldn't have been able to give away some kind of little detail about my baby that nobody else would have known, like a mole or birthmark or a weird toe or hair on their head, or, you know, a freckle, what have you. There would have been other ways. Maybe the birthing, I don't know what they would have called them back there, but midwives, let's just say, maybe the midwives would be able to know the difference between this baby and that baby. It's just so silly that was the only way to get to it. Give me a break.
I was quite young because I was a baby, and my mother tells this story about how she was like, I was a young mother, I was stupid, didn't know anything, but a lady was like, oh, you're a pretty baby, can I hold her? So the lady holds the baby. Lady comes running with me. My mom chases the lady. Somehow the police, this was in a mall that's closed down now. Yeah. So running with me.
Really?
So yeah. So my mom is like, so then the police comes, the mall security, whatever comes, they say, what's going on? And then the lady comes and says, she's trying to bother me and my baby. And I says, oh no, this is my baby. The lady was like, well, look at her. She's dark. I'm like, I look more like this child's mother. And my mom is like, oh, hell no. And the police was like, well, we have to take the baby to be able to straighten this out. And my mom, I'm telling you right now, if I don't get my baby right now, I'm all of y'all up.
Yeah.
And the officer was like, I can tell by her response, she's the mother. Because the lady was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. We can take the baby to the holding cell, whatever with the baby to find the mother is. And mother, oh, hell no. If I don't get my baby now, everybody getting effed up. I don't care. And the officer looked at her, looked at my mom and said, you're the mother.
Good for your mom, though.
You don't need more involvement.
But yeah. So kind of like the David story, but not quite, not as violent one.
And I do understand that to some extent he could have got a rouse out of them by saying, like, let's pretend, you know, between me and you, guardsman who's holding the baby right now with a big old sword in his hand, between you and me, I'm going to pretend that that's how we're going to solve this problem. And but I don't think that anything, obviously the story's fake, but I don't even think that this douche canoe would have even thought in his head to say, hey, let me get guardsmen in on this deal, because God forbid, like, I turn my back and homie just goes wop bop a loo bop and the head flops off, you know? So I sorry. That was kind of sorry.
And then you shake it all about, do the hokey pokey and turn yourself around.
That's what
But I just don't think that he would have even had common sense to tell the guard and something bad like that, or would have dropped the baby. Who knows? I just think that it's such a silly way to solve a problem. And if that's the only way back then that you know how to solve problems is by somebody's reaction, that will be a problem. If that makes any sense. Because you're going to come against somebody who's a freaking psychopath and can act the F out of it. That was
It's
just
just
thanks for coming to my TED Talk.
right. It just
Mhm.
so that tangents upon tangents, but it's okay because people come here for the tangents. Guide to Morality. This is where we got started here. It just not only do they not know their own moral parables more often than not, like it's so fucking crazy. But if you remove the elements that make it obviously identifiable as from the Bible, like you remove the name King Solomon in that one example, then it becomes obvious how this wise decision is the worst possible decision.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the lower stakes ones. You start bringing up the, I'm going to have to like, you know, send my virgin daughters off to be raped by a mob, or send my concubine out to be raped by a mob. Like, why are these moral chosen people of God constantly so rapey?
Why are they
Because they're
so
the
rapey?
moral people. They're the
And
chosen ones.
why is every situation an either or? Why is it always a black and white? Well, it could only have happened this way or that. No, that isn't life, and it doesn't always just have to happen this or that way. Lot could have said to the angels, "Is there anything that you can do? You're angels." My unfinished song says, "I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around." Yes, King, proud of you.
That's what it's all about.
That is what it's all about. Words of wisdom from the goddess of wisdom. Now you know.
Mhm.
The more you
But not
know,
the word
rainbow.
wisdom.
Wait,
I
what?
mean,
But
The word wisdom is a Mormon thing, and I was just making a Mormon.
Oh God.
I mean,
Mormons.
one of the things is like you were saying on how women are treated this way, or like how people thought was okay to treat women like this. Women were property for like thousands of years. We were considered property, and that's
Some
it.
people think we are, even today.
Yeah, some people still
Yep.
think we are.
Even today. That's why Lot freely was because it was his property. He was willing to take the damage of his property by letting his girls be de-virginized by these freaks that came, to their door.
Mm-hmm.
He was okay with that because at the end of the day, it was his say. The men were more important, the angels, whatever, were more important. So he was willing to have some of his property a little bit damaged for, I don't know, being righteous, to be righteous.
It's like if the people were starving for food and they wanted to cannibalize the angels, and he said, "No, eat my daughters." No, that's just as evil. Never mind.
wait, hold on. Maybe I should. Okay, take that back. God damn. Like he could have asked the angels, "Can y'all fight back? Like, hey, can we have a heart to heart here? They're knocking at my door. You hear what's happening. You see that I'm just a dude and all I have is my fisticuffs. So there's nothing that I can really do here. Can you help me? Can we do something together?"
Well, I think the missed point of this story is that this crowd of rapey men, the angels cannot handle them. The righteous man cannot handle them. He has to call upon his daughters to protect the grown man and the supernatural beings from the rapey men.
The daughters protected
Only the
him.
daughters can handle this.
The daughters protected him. Just in other instances where basically the daughters gave their life to protect the others. They were the sacrifice, just like Jephthah's daughter, right? She was the sacrifices, which was the reason why he won. He was the judge who won the battle. There's other instances too where the daughters, if I thought about it long enough, I probably could tell you, but I haven't thought long enough about it. But that's weird. I hadn't thought about it that way. But they basically gave their lives as protection for the men. Oh,
But
Sarah.
no, but remember the concubine was damn near dead.
Oh, and the other one, the other story, she did die. And the other story, they did die, and they chopped her up and put her in different places. Because it was like a
so that all the 13 tribes would have a slice of whore.
Oh, so
for
gross,
some reason.
Man.
There's a moral point to it, I guess.
Yeah, but the Quran is terrible, or other books are terrible, bro. There's tons of stuff in the Bible that we can point to that is just as horrific. The problem is where you're placing your morality. The Bible would be fine in and of itself. It was just an old storybook that people use like for something to do traditionally.
The only
Unfortunately, we take it so
problem,
literally. Say again. I'm
the
sorry,
only,
Kelly.
the only problem with Lot's wife is that his wife looked back. That's the only thing wrong with the story. Only
What
thing
a
wrong.
stu-
Everything else was okay. The everything. She looked back. That was
yeah,
what was wrong in the whole story.
such an absolutely ridiculous thing to be so pissed off about that you have to take a life because they look back. You as a
Just did
God
not
would
follow
know in their
instructions.
heart. Yeah, you in their heart would know in their heart if they're good or bad people. Why would you make a decision on whether or not they should live or die on such a simple, stupid little thing when their life experiences should tell you whether or not they're good or bad people? So
Yeah.
absolutely freaking ridiculous.
I
Cause I'm
want to
like,
know
how
who
many?
looked back to verify that she did turn into salt when she looked back.
Ooh, gotcha,
Woo!
gotcha, bitch.
Cause
Gotcha. How would we ever
Mm.
know? How do we know that's what
I'm
happened?
like, how many times we driving down the road and there's an accident, we look back and see what's going on. Is everybody
Rubberneck.
okay? Or a fight or something happens, and we in school and we ran to see the fight.
It's like a train wreck. You can't turn your eyes away. Have to
Well, I
watch
mean,
it.
that's sort of immoral too, right? Like once you're running from the consequences of your faith, the destruction of your whole city because of your faith, and you look back, suddenly you see you did this. You caused this through your faith. And once you look back, it's that look behind the curtain thing. Once you see there's no God running things, you cannot lie to yourself hard enough to ever convince yourself there is one, you know?
Yeah, I think once I realized the gig was up, I can't. I could never try to fool myself into believing. Just wouldn't happen. Can't undo it. What I've seen. Once you've seen it.
You atheist. Next you're gonna try to convince me there's no Santa Claus either. It's almost Christmas. Have some decency.
How dare you? Good morning. And good morning to everybody we haven't said hi to yet today. It's good to see you. Happy Monday. We hope you had a nice weekend. And if you got to see your family, that it was enjoyable. Did anybody have anything crazy happen? Any arguments? I'd love to know because
I'm
I'm
glad
new.
I did not have that kind of. I did not have that kind of day.
Good.
I stay away from those people in my family. Stay away from them.
Yeah, one nice thing about never seeing other humans is actually my housemate, one of the few humans I do see. He was being like extra polite. We had a light snow here, and because there's 4 people with cars in a driveway that's 2 cars wide, he found himself blocked in on Sunday morning when he had to go to work. Rather than ask any one of us to move our cars, he tried to drive across the ditch to get out. And he has a tiny little car, and so he just bloop, and his wheels are up in the air.
Oh no.
So we had to move all of the cars so that a neighbor could tow him back onto the driveway.
Ay, Dios
Like, you
mío.
silly man.
Goofy goober. The goofy things you do. Oy, oy, oy. Well, back to Israel.
Hooray.
Back to, I just figured I saw this comment. Like, you do realize that U.S. arms Israel. They use our weapons full. Yeah, we send them so much money and armament, but we're not the only ones. There are other countries, but I would think that we're probably the biggest supplier because we have the most to gain out of this entire situation.
What do we gain exactly? I've been wondering this for a while. I know the evangelicals have their religious beliefs about prophecies and accelerating the end times and all this bullshit. But like, what do we tangibly gain from having constant war? Nope, never mind. There it is. Constant wars in the Middle East.
Money, right? Exactly. All of the warmongers, they are profiting hand over fist. We know that Jared Kushner and Donald Trump, they already have plans over there to sell land and build hotels and have beachfront property. So, I mean, it's not for us. It's not our benefit. We're also losing out in this deal because we're losing our money in healthcare, but they're going to make a huge profit off of stealing Lebanon, Gaza. I'm sure they'll take parts of Jordan now. They're going to go down into Egypt. I mean, that's what it's hitting for. The fact that like Turkey and Egypt and Jordan like have sat silently by and allowed this to happen, knowing that it's going to be at their door soon. I just hope the world is as kind to them when it comes down to it. Like, I'll be fighting for them. Like, I won't want that to happen. But I feel like you're really, really silly allowing these dogs to sit outside your gates because they're coming for your neck next.
Well, we look back at World War One, or rather World War II, right? After the big alliance issue of World War One, everybody was really sketchy about getting into wars on other countries' behalves, and understandably, because World War One was the most horrible fucking thing that had ever happened. But then here comes this fucking mustache dude who's just like annexing country after country after country, and every other country's like, if we let him have that one, he'll probably leave us alone, right?
Right, of course.
And then they're next, you know? It's you can't just allow authoritarian wannabe imperialists to just conquer whatever they like, or they will get around to you eventually.
Yeah, they won't stop. They'll just keep going.
That's how empires work. If your empire isn't growing, you're having rebellions and heads are coming off, and then eventually it just crumbles and splinters into a bunch of different kingdoms. To keep once you start down the empire path, you have to keep conquering or the whole thing falls apart.
Which is why Netanyahu wants to continue this forever war, which is why he wants the pardon, because he knows that if he's taken out of commission and somebody else gets empowered, that once that fighting stops, once they stop sending their dudes out to die on the battlefield at the hands of Hamas, people are going to start realizing that all these deaths were for what? The world hates you now. I mean, okay, not everybody. Obviously, there's still like strong supporters of Israel. I believe Real Talk is even one of them. I'm not sure. But for the most part, we have seen public opinion change. Again, surveys done here in this country, and it has dropped drastically. The numbers are dwindling. And even on the Christian side, like the Republicans, who I would have thought would have stayed 10 toes down because of their religious convictions, realize that, oh, wait, this is not what we wanted. We don't think that it's right to just go stealing people's land. And, because we think that we have some book that tells us we're allowed to have it, that it's for us. I mean, if that book is true, like, let's just pretend it's true, then Christians, Muslims, Jewish people, like all Abrahamic religions would have the right to go there because that's where their religions started, right? Like Christianity started there in Canaan. So every Christian would say, actually, now that's my land. That's where my religion starts. So that's where I get to go and just live for the rest of my life. Because God promised
the same God who promised that land to all of them. They all trace their holy roots through Moses and the conquest and shit.
Yeah,
the only Christians who are allowed on U.S. soil, according to the Bible, are the Mormons, because according to their magic book, the Garden of Eden is in fucking Missouri or some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, listen, Linda. I guarantee that this country was absolutely stunning. Like, I mean, it's beautiful, but just before all the ish that we've done to it, I could understand how they would think that something might be paradise, but it's just funny. Very, very funny.
It's pretty wild. Although it would be really fun if we tried holding the religious extremists to their own standards. Like, people who are just low grade religious, like they're just, oh, God is probably like how life began on earth. The magic finger reached down and zapped a pool of pond scum and boop, it came to life. Whatever. If you want to believe that kind of fairy tale, that's fine. But the people who are like, no, we have to do what the guidebook literally says, or Jesus can't come back. We have to bring Jesus back for some reason to end the world for some reason. If we held those people to their own standards, every single one of them would have to be put to death immediately. They would all be stoned in the town square or some shit,
Right. And again, it's that black and white thinking. This is how it has to happen. Like God couldn't fix the world any way else other than, again, sending his son. So like, how many times does Jesus have to come back? Are you sure this will be the last one? I don't know. I'm starting to have doubts. You might end up coming up with another reason for why he needs to come back again, or there might be a whole new son that has to come back to fix maybe what Jesus didn't get the first time. Or I just don't get the gymnastics hurt my brain.
This poor guy, like, not only did he have to die horribly because that's the perfect plan, but he's already been back here 3 times at least, right? Like, he was born in 4 BCE and 6 CE, so he was born again, apparently. But also, after he was executed, the resurrection is literally the second coming. He came back. The second coming already happened, if the story is true. So how many times does this... He's like the dad driving at the front of the car. Don't make me stop this car and come back there. You will not like it if I have to come back there.
Oh, Jesus. We don't need you to come back, Jesus. Your dad's a god. I'm sure he can fix it from up there. It's cool.
I know, you've got the magic powers. You're all powerful, but you can't do it any other way.
Right.
For some reason.
And by the sword. Like we're in the 2030s and God's still in the 1000 BCE. He's in the first millennia BCE. Like, come on, bruh. You got to get up to date. I don't know what you're going to do with that sword. I don't think that your shield's going to stop a bullet. Okay? Some C4? That armor ain't cutting it. I don't know what you're doing, brusky.
Let me see if I can find a clip, because there's a hypothesis about why we haven't seen God in a very long time, but I don't want to spoil it. If I can find the clip.
I think it's technology. I think, before it was wheels and iron that upset God, like chariots. He didn't like that technology. And when he saw guns, he was like, oh, never mind. I can't come back here. I'm just going to start over in a different galaxy. So peace. That's what Yahweh did. Yahweebs believe that his son's coming back, but they're elsewhere.
Okay, I found it. This is making sure that it's actually screen sharing. This is Jaden Animation's hypothesis for why Jesus hasn't come back.
Have emerged from an egg in a place where there was nothing. Then it shaped the world.
Yeah, and the lions would destroy it.
Yeah, you can't just say
God
you
isn't
can't
as
just say
powerful
that.
The people killed Jesus, Schlatt.
I cannot believe you just said that.
He got crucified.
You're bringing up the crucifixion of Jesus Christ in a
Yes!
debate about.
You think God is this? Oh, no one can kill God.
What happened to him? What happened to him 3 days later?
He ran away like a little bitch.
He came back to life.
He ran away back up to God. Wham, wham. I couldn't fight the human.
They sent floods. They sent pestilence. They sent locusts.
Well, we're still here. Where's
You
God?
can fuck up every human if you're a god. If you're
Where's
God,
God, Schlatt? The humans are here. Where's God? He's still scared.
he's not scared. God is not scared.
Yes.
You should be scared of God. He's coming back soon. You ever heard of the rapture?
Define the rapture.
It's when God is going to come back and judge the living and the dead.
When's he coming back?
Some people say soon.
How long have they been saying soon?
Thousands of years, maybe. I don't know. It's been, Earth has been around for a while.
Well, the lions are only.
And then they go back to discussing Pokemon. But like,
Oh my god!
I think he's right. He's still scared because the last time he came here, we killed his ass, and the humans are still here.
Yeah, why did he run away? Like, why did he not stick around when he came back just to kind of really show people, not just a couple people, not just a handful of people, like show everybody in the town, like, oh, you didn't think I was the son of God? Gotcha, bitch. He ran away like a little scaredy pie.
What I
He was
don't
worried
get
what
is
the humans would do next.
Yeah.
he's
They're like, oh,
supposed
they
to be
crucified me last time,
omnipresent.
so what's next?
He's supposed to be omnipresent and knows how everything's supposed to go and everything's supposed to be.
I mean,
So he knew what's supposed to happen, and he still set things up to be flawed.
mhm.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Mhm.
this is one of the things that I've brought up to my friends, and I've even brought up to like my family on occasion of like the if you look at the Bible and all this stuff that says like Jesus is coming, blah blah blah, and it clearly doesn't if you actually read it. Like there are other fairy tales, like literal fairy tales, like the freaking Little Mermaid, that is more likely than the crap that's in the Bible, because at least we don't know everything that's in the ocean. We can sit there and say we don't know, there might be mermaids. No, I don't think there's mermaids, but the point
Oh.
is like it's not. There's a plethora of stuff that is either just as likely or more likely than the Bible crap. And people base their entire freaking life on it. I don't get that.
Yeah, it's like people make the Aesop's Fables comparison from time to time, like Dan Steely just brought up. It's better than but holy shit, like we're taking stories literally that are less plausible than the fucking tortoise and the hare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like at least those stories have a fucking clear point. You know, the scorpion riding the, what is it, an alligator, a toad, whatever the fuck the scorpion rides across the river. And so for anybody who doesn't know, there's this story. I forget if it's in Aesop's Fables or the Tales of Scheherazade or where the fuck it comes from. But the scorpion needs to cross a river for some reason. He needs to get to the scorpion fair on the other side. I don't know. And he says to this let's say it's a frog. I can't fucking remember, but let's say it's a frog. And he says, hey, frog, can you give me a ride across this river? And the frog goes, no, you'll sting me and then I'll die and then you'll die because you can't swim. And then we'll both be dead. And the scorpion goes, well, no, of course I won't sting you because then you'd die and then I'd die and then we'd both be dead. That would be stupid. Why would I do that? And the frog says, okay, you're right. That would be stupid. But as long as you know that, I will give you a lift. And so the scorpion gets on and they start going, and halfway across the river, the scorpion stings the frog. And before the frog dies, he says, why did you do that? Now I'm going to die and then you will immediately die. And the scorpion goes, it's in my nature.
God dagnabbit.
It's a great moral lesson. Don't trust the fucking Republicans. I mean, the fucking scorpions. Because
When somebody tells you
to kill you.
Yeah. And when somebody tells you who they are, believe them. Trump told us who he was, but people did not believe him. They believed the lies. They believed what they wanted him to be, what they wanted to hear. Just like they cherry-picked the Bible, they cherry-picked everything about that man, because just as Empress said, that if it means you, them people will be punished and have bad lives, I'm willing to suffer for it. As long as they're the ones living in pain, I'm okay not having medical coverage and food stamps.
They love to talk about worldviews. They love worldviews because then they don't have to talk about what they actually believe, right? But here's the thing. We can actually compare worldviews. There's a group of people who believes that we can build a better society where people all have healthcare, where people all have enough food and so on. We can do these things. It's within our technological power to do them. But there's another group of people who don't care about other people. They just want to rule. They just want to be in charge, even if they have to burn down the planet to do it. So we have one worldview that believes we should all be living in fucking geological skyscrapers with forest gardens on top and all this wonderful shit. And we've got another group of people who's happy to have ruins and ashes as long as they're in charge. Those are the worldviews, folks. It's all about priorities. Is it personal gain? Is it rulership? Is it telling other people how to live? Or is it what's best for all of us, including the people, like the people who want to be in charge? They would have better lives under our system too. They'd have better health care. They'd have better food. They'd have more fun. They'd probably get laid more often. Like, nothing except that egotistical sense of power and the fact that they destroyed the world. Good job, I guess.
Finger snaps for
We're
you.
letting them win. The fuck are we doing?
I don't know. It's wild to me to know that the Bible can be used so like such a weapon that, you know, what I was told, obviously not the truth, what I was told is that a book about love and wanting to help people and bringing people together is really just about calling everybody to be one specific thing, to fit in one box, to be compartmentalized, and to not have an identity, to not be your to not be yourself, you know, hide who you are, hide behind that weapon.
Yeah, be who you're told to be, as long as it's, you know, as long as I get to tell you who you are.
Yeah, right. 100%. As long as you stay home and are making sandwiches and having babies, then you can do whatever you want.
I mean, those first two things sound okay mostly. I do love to travel, but I could deal with staying home and making sandwiches. Yes,
I do love a
as a moral
sandwich.
duty.
Depends on the kind of sandwiches.
See, sandwiches, that's another great example. That's the power of humanity, right? Because one ancient person came up with bread, and then the idea spread and people came up with their own takes on it, and eventually it mutated to the point where we have like loaves of bread we can cut into these handy slices. And then somebody else was like, oh, look at this butcher shop, we're losing so much edible meat. If we just figure out a different way to process it and package it, we can make use of it. And they invented fucking sausages, and sausages mutated and became all different kinds. And now we have bologna, and we have like compressed turkey and all sorts of things. And so we can slice that too. And then some other motherfucker was like, ooh, what if I take this wild mustard and I cultivate it and I produce different plants with it, and they spread in different versions and whatever, and we get modern mustard. And now you can grind it up and make this paste that you can spread on the sliced meat, on the sliced bread. And then somebody else is figuring out we can round up cattle. We can keep them together in fenced off pastures so they don't wander off. And also, not only are they good for meat, but they produce milk. And if we do stuff to the milk, we can produce cheese. And the cheeses came in different varieties and flavors and types and whatnot, specific to different groups, because diversity is fucking wonderful. That's what humans do best. And we can slice that too. And now we can slice that and put that on these stacks of bread and sauces and sliced meats and so forth. And then somebody else had a vegetable garden, and they're like, you know, I can just slice these too. And now we have the whole fucking sandwich. It's an achievement across all of human history, the culmination of our ancestors' greatest technologies in the ultimate snack. That's
I do
the
love a
destiny of
sandwich.
humanity.
You know, it's a finger food. It's just it's so easy. You know,
Thanks
you
a lot for that
don't even need a
sandwich.
plate. And if you're desperate, you know, if you're even desperate, you don't even need a plate. You just hold this beautiful little enclosed meat with delectable crunchiness inside of it, and it's yours to keep. I just love the
Speaking of
sandwich.
that, I was hungry yesterday, and I was like, I don't really need leftovers. I kind of packed them up for my daughter that lives in Florida when she comes. And because we usually do like a brunch thing. But anyway, I made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yum. I love peanut butter and jelly. My husband hates them. He won't eat it. He thinks it doesn't go together.
It does. But
My
my
kids are
oldest, she does not like jelly at all anyway. She like plain peanut butter, but she's not like jelly.
Oh, I love peanut butter. Like,
I think you guys are
give me
hungry.
peanut butter,
I am
and I'm
hungry.
happy. And I am absolutely happy. We had a panic when my youngest one was 3. We thought he was allergic to peanuts. because he had a reaction around the time that he ate like a peanut M&M or something, and he had a reaction, but it was just something else. So we thought he was allergic to peanuts for like 3 or 4 weeks, and I was freaking out because that means I had to get rid of all the peanut butter stuff. And anybody who knows me, if you want to pick me up something at the store to make me happy, pick me up a Reese's, and I'll be happy. Just peanut butter.
They are
Peanut butter
good.
cups are like the best. So don't get me wrong. All candies have their place. They have their time. But there's something about peanut butter cups that they're just like a superior category of candy. You know?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I cannot keep more than like a couple somewhere on my desk because those are the one candy that I'll sit there and I'll just snack on and not realize how many I've gone through until I look over and see like the entire bag's empty. I'm just like, oh crap.
Oh no, what did I do? Does anybody have any weird food combinations that are unique to themselves? I'd love to hear your weird food combinations.
I don't think
No,
I got
you don't have
nothing
interest?
weird.
What do we mean by like, how do we tell if something is unique to ourselves? Like, I mean, there's a bunch of stuff that I like to cook that my son isn't a fan of, but usually one of my other kids is also into it because my kids are weird that way. Peanut butter jelly sandwiches, for example, right? Like, my oldest doesn't like peanut butter, just jelly sandwich. My son, both peanut butter and my son is peanut butter only. He doesn't like the jelly. And then my older daughter is both peanut butter and jelly. And to each of them, the other two are weird.
I like it's not weird, but I haven't heard a lot of people who do it is to take pretzels, like hard pretzels, and eat it with cream cheese.
Oh, I've done that.
I do it with Ritz crackers.
But I do
Yum,
I get the whipped cream cheese, the stuff that's like whipped up big time, so it's all nice
so
and
much
fluffy.
easier, right? Because otherwise your pretzels will like break as you're trying, depending on what kind of pretzel you're using.
I think for me, one of the, I would say like my go-to snack when I want something savory and I don't want something sweet is I'll go grab. We always have really good bread here, and we always have really good olive oil. So I'll go grab bread, olive oil, and some herbs and stuff, and just dip the bread in that, and have that if I want something savory.
Yum yum.
I like sweet stuff, but I tend to go more salty, savory most of the time.
Same.
Yeah, depending on what you're in the mood for. That's what determines good snacks. 2/4 technically, but Autumn's too little to eat peanut butter jelly yet. We're still working on that part. Roasted turkey. I was naughty. So Thursday I had a Friendsgiving thing with people from the Comic-Con, and we were required to not only bring a dish to be part of the Friendsgiving, but also to take home some leftovers. So I brought home some leftover turkey, and then Friday I couldn't resist. I made my turkey sandwiches because turkey sandwich leftovers are the best fucking part of Thanksgiving. So I had the turkey sandwich leftovers. And then Saturday, I had my son over and I made a Thanksgiving just for the two of us because that was all the children I had present. And I ended up with a lot of turkey leftovers. And I sent most of them home with him, but I kept enough to make a couple turkey sandwiches. And then yesterday, I couldn't resist. I even had a different meal prepped, but I could not resist. I had my turkey. I can't stay away from the roast turkey sandwiches. It's the best fucking thing. Literally.
Yeah, it's delicious. They had what do you call it? KC, which my grandma did it, but she made it as a sandwich. She made homemade rolls and the mini little sandwiches, but they were turkey dressed in cranberry sauce and a little bit of gravy on it. And we just ate that. I don't know, that's one of my favorites lunches after school. That was delicious. I used to love it. But then Casey did hers in the muffins with the cranberry sauce and the dressing. And I mean, it was made out of dressing. But then she had like the cranberries and the turkey inside. So when you bit, that's what came out.
You got to be careful with the cranberry sauce though, because if you get too much, then it
Yeah.
kind of overpowers the sandwich. It needs to be a light jelly spread. I have such weird. Okay, so when I was really little, I loved cranberry sauce. It was like the best food ever. And then sometime between 11 and 13, it became horrible and revolting. And it was for most of my life. Every few years, I'll retry something I don't like in case my tastes have changed. But now cranberries are the best thing ever, including cranberry sauce. And it tastes just like it did when I was little. It's fucking wild. I'm like, yay, it's back. Now I can die. I can die happy. Cranberry sauce has been restored to the ultimate food level.
I am actually going to pop, guys. I've got an appointment I've got to run to, so I appreciate coming. We'll see everybody later.
Thanks for joining us.
Love you.
Everybody remember, subscribe to How to Rule an Asteroid. All of our links are in the description on at least half of these broadcasts.
Somewhere you will find it. All you got to do is look and you will find. Seek and ye shall find.
That's right. And if perchance they're not, all of our channels are linked on my website, betterthenumber.com, on the creator tab. You just do the creator tab, bloop, and there's a list of every fucking creator. And on the right side, there's the cast of Job and Jugs. All of our channels. Even the people who aren't here right now, like Maya, for example, and Bree.
Yes. Yeah, everybody's here today.
Lil is like at 180, so we get her to 200 and we can do something special. Ooh. I'm like 130 something, so help me too.
My boss does a live stream with his best friend on Monday nights, and he shouted me out a few weeks ago, and I got like 50 subs from that. I'm just like, yeah.
Oh, snap.
So cool, right? Like a little while ago, Jovan Bradley made a regular video about trans stuff. And he opens the video by saying, I'm not trans, but these people are. And he points right at my channel name. I'm on a list with Lily Alexander and Cat Black and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't even know. I had 100 more subscribers. And I'm like, what? And then somebody sent me the link. I mean, I do watch Jovan's stuff, but like I do a lot, as you all know, because I'm like constantly on camera somewhere. So I didn't know. And then I did know. And I ended up, granted, half the new subscribers left once they figured out I don't make exclusively trans stuff. There's a lot of other stuff. There's intersex stuff. There's women's rights. I do a lot of women's rights, but also the counter apologetics and counter conspiracy theory. It's not what they came there for. They want just trans stuff, and that's fine. But like, it was pretty wild getting just a random shout out from somebody that people listen to and respect can like make this surge in your fan base suddenly. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does help a lot. A simple little shout out, a share, it can mean the world. That's awesome that you got like 50 subs from that. It's amazing.
Yeah, it was I wasn't expecting him, honestly, because not that many people watch the live, but so I got like 30 within like 5 minutes of him doing it, and then like the other 20 kind of trickled in over the week. But I was just like, and that's why I'm just like, okay, I've got to figure out exactly, because I was originally just going to do like the crafting videos on there, and then I just kind of decided it's my channel, I'm going to put whatever the hell I feel like doing. So if I feel like
stuff.
Yeah, like I'm going to do at some point, either today or tomorrow, there's like one political story that I wanted to cover. So I'll probably do a really brief live stream covering that. But I'm just going to do what I want to when I want to. It's my space online. So
it's so hard to be
on it now.
It's hard to be just pick a specific topic and just talk on that. I can't do it. I've tried. I had somebody in my comments the other day said, like, I forget, but they basically called me random because the content I put out, it goes from like one thing to the next. And I don't know what to tell you other than I'm deconstructing. So sometimes when I learn something, I just feel like I have to get it out of my head or I just want to talk about it for some reason. Like I get a little hyper obsessed with things and I have to do
Well,
something about it until I
people
feel
get
like
confused about what YouTube channels are for. And you know, there are some creators who will only make videos on a certain topic. And so there's some crossover. Like a lot of channels have a name for what they do, like the Humanist Report. It's only
Yes.
about news stories pertaining to humanist issues, you know? But then there's channels with people names where it's what the person is doing, you know, like, you know, Cat Black is all over the place with you know, makeup and trans rights and politics and all sorts of stuff, you know. And so channels with people names are often the things the people are doing, but there is some crossover. So I get the confusion because some people, they're like, hey, you know, what is it, Parker Get a Job? It's just Parker's political debates. It's not all of Parker. It's just the political debates, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things with me and my name, Lil of All Trades, is because it does fit all that. I can put everything in there that I think is worth knowing, worth sharing, whether it's how to do some crazy craft or some political thing I think it's worth knowing about. It all fits under that umbrella, so it works.
Yeah, it's your channel. Do what you want. And if it's a personal channel, you should. I tried to compartmentalize. Like I started my channel with counter apologetics, and I tried like hell to keep it just counter apologetics and put the other stuff on other channels. But there's a couple of problems. The first is there's always some overlap. The second is it's impossible to grow other channels from your main channel because you have a core audience who wants to hear about counter apologetics. So if you want to talk about trans news, they're not going to go over there for that because that's not what that audience likes. So you have to build it separately. And that's a major pain in the ass. But also there's constantly crossover because it turns out whether you're dealing with young earthers or flat earthers or transphobes or vaccine deniers, they're all conspiracy theorists. They're all using the same kind of apologetics for the same reason. So if you're debunking apologetics, you're going to be tackling all of them anyway, you know?
it's hard not to. I can't not talk about all the different things because I came from a cult. So I want to talk about everything culty. That means politics. That means MLMs. That means TV show. I mean, you name it. If it's kind of culty, MAGA, I want to talk about it.
Yeah,
it's hard
people
to
need to know about cults. They need to know about fallacies, not just for logic, debate me bro reasons, but so they can be aware of when their own critical thinking has been compromised, when they're being taken advantage of by manipulation and propaganda and shit, because that's how cults work. And a cult is currently in charge of the United States. People need to know how to get out of a cult. Oh yeah,
Yes.
that's legit. Sweet pickles are that you've ruined a perfectly good cucumber.
I don't know. I have to have dill. I'm not really into dill. I don't really like pickles. Period. Sorry, but like when I do like my relish and stuff like that, it's be like a sweet relish. I don't know. Something about the dill. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't do sweet pickles.
I can eat sweet pickles. They're not my favorite. I prefer dill. I recently discovered a hot dill pickle. I think it was Clausen. I can't remember the brand. But anyway, oh, so good. Just the right amount of heat. Yeah, I'm really pickle. I'm really pickle. I'm really particular.
There was a member of my family that did not know that pickles were cucumbers. And she's like in her 70s. And she did not know that.
I remember having debates in elementary school with other kids about that. They're like, no, pickles taste different. I'm like, because they're prepared differently. Hamburger and steak are different, but they both come from a cow.
Yeah.
Classics are good. Yeah. There's all kinds of fancy pickles. My personal favorite, farmer market pickles, where they have the big wooden barrel. Oh, so good. Farmers know how to make shit right. Damn it.
Yeah, you can't get them like you used to. Like back in the day when I was a kid, like you could go to any like corner store and they would have one of them barrels with the big old pickles, and they just had the bag and the tongs, and you just put your pickle in the bag and you took your
fishing for them.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you get the pickle you want. You know, like it was like the perfect thing. I guess maybe people were probably nasty and put their grubby hands in there or something. I don't know,
Well,
but
that's
I
the
wish
beautiful thing about pickle brine is it doesn't just preserve stuff.
right.
It doesn't sterilize in the way we think of sterile today, but in 1800s terms, yeah, that's just, it's sterile. That's why they do that. That's how it preserves the pickle is by killing all the bacteria and fungus and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
I mean, it's almost like if you're drinking alcohol and you share a cup. Not that you should, but like if the alcohol was on the cup at all, like it probably would have gotten rid of any germs.
it's safer to share margarita than juicy juice. Probably.
Don't share drinks, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Unless you want backwash.
Ew. No, sorry. I don't care if they don't have hepatitis. No.
No, I know, right? I just can't. The backwash, I can't do it. I can't.
Speaking of that, my daughter just told me, well, this was like last week or something, but it was a case of hand, foot, and mouth.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Disease
going on
and
in
hand,
school.
foot, mouth,
Yeah.
whatever it's
Would
called.
be that too? Okay, this is a case in my daughter's school.
Last year they had that. Somebody from my grandson's mother, somebody in her family got it, and it spread like all over her family. So we went over there, grabbed my grandson, and he ended up staying with us for like 3 weeks because everybody over there was sick for like ages.
Wow.
Ugh.
That's shame. Pickled tongue.
Oh my
thing is we humans now I just praised our ancestors' innovation for all the components of sandwiches that are then brought together to make sandwiches and whatnot, and honestly that's one of my better rants, I must say. But we try to do the same thing to other things to see if it works, and that's fair. We have to try things out for science. We got to find out what works. But like we pickle all sorts of weird shit like pig's feet. My grandmother loved pickled pig's feet, and I'm like, what the fuck?
My best friend is from Louisiana. Pickled pig lips.
What?
Yes, pickled pig lips. Yes. And she be eating it. You want some? So, because I try everything once and try to try it.
What was it like?
Not good.
Was it like salty?
I can't even describe. It's been a long time since I had them. But it was, I don't know. I can't really describe it. It was yeah.
I can't even eat pickled eggs. Like
right.
I like
pickles
I love
very
pickled
specific
eggs.
way.
I love pickles. Can't do pickled eggs.
No.
Can't do pickled eggs.
Yep.
My absolute favorite pickles, though, and we have these down here in Texas, and I don't know where else they're available across the country, but we have pickled okra, and I will eat an entire jar of that stuff. It's so good.
Okra? I don't know if I've had okra.
I know they have them at Walmart because they did at the one in Indiana when I lived there, but it's called Talk of Texas, pickled okra, and yeah, they're so good.
So what do you think might be the best wines? Is there a wine good enough to justify committing treason?
Wait, say again?
To bring it kind of back to our topic, because that's why Netanyahu is facing a super important corruption trial because he accepted wine and cigars.
What piddly? I mean, okay. So wait. So if he can be brought up on corruption charges for taking those bribes, why is it okay that Trump takes a goddamn plane and trips and being able to build hotels
because Republicans have no spine
or no morals, because Bible
both
ostensibly.
Yeah.
Because Israel, despite the fact they're currently committing an active genocide, still has something resembling laws. In the US, we only play pretend. We don't actually have laws. And we can prove this too, because look at any given situation, right? Like we've got this Constitution, no unreasonable search and seizure, due process. Nope, we're not doing that. We have an army bigger than our fucking army running around just snatching people off the streets, whether they're citizens or not, because the president doesn't like them. And we're cool with this. We got to keep the drugs off our streets. It's super important. That's why we're blowing up civilian fishermen in international waters. But the guy who smuggled 400 tons of cocaine into the U.S., we're pardoning him because he's right wing and will do what Trump wants. So we're going to throw him into another country's election.
Mm-hmm. There was somebody else who recently got caught. Oh, sorry, Kelly. Go ahead.
When you look at the war on drugs specifically, it was really to target the black people.
Yeah. You're right.
So of course, because I'm like, I'm thinking like, well, who brought the drugs to the country? But I remember when I was in college, this guy actually wrote exactly. They see what comes in, and you got enough money, they're gonna let it slide through. And so he wrote a paper they had to recite, and he talked about how drugs come into the country and how it affects the black community. The professor did not like that story at all. And I was like, I want to hear what he has to say, because he really researched this.
Yeah.
You cannot discuss that in the class. And I said, well, I think it's important.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth.
The war on drugs was a war on people of color. That's why drugs like cocaine are treated differently than crack, right? It's not so bad if you're at a party. I'm not saying drug use is good, bad, or ugly. I'm just saying they treat it as though you go to a party, do some cocaine, okay, NBD. But if you were doing crack, then that would be completely oh my God, that person should be in jail. Like, how do they even have children? Da, 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 da. It's always treated so differently, and we know that our system will punish people of color, black people, more so than they will a white person for the same crime.
That's why marijuana was outlawed in the first place, right? Because going back to the Mexican-American War, the first one where we took North Mexico and made it California and all those other states, suddenly the population of the United States doubled, and half of them were Mexicans. How do we handle this? We didn't have the military force to deprive half of the country of its right to vote. So we needed a workaround. How can we keep brown people down while allowing these objectively brown people to vote? Well, by act of law, we made them officially white. That's why the ethnic designation Hispanic exists. That you've got white Hispanic and white non-Hispanic, right? That's why there are white people instead of the various European nationalities that Americans are descended from.
Lumped everybody together.
Right. So then we were like, okay, well, now that they're white people, how the fuck are we going to abuse them and oppress them and keep them down? Aha! Let's ban their substance of choice, the thing that they might be carrying. If we make that illegal, then we can arrest them on site for carrying this drug. Like, we've got alcohol. Marijuana is objectively less harmful than alcohol in almost every way. But it's the illegal one. Alcohol is legal because the Europeans like it. Marijuana, though, it wasn't that anybody was actually opposed to the marijuana. That was the mechanism by which we could oppress brown people.
Other people, exactly. A very specific kind of people. It's wild that it's still, people can still deny it to this day. It's
the only reason there's been a move for legalization, and it's still piecemeal state by state, is because white people enjoy it now. Oh, if the white people like it, then we should unban it. You know?
Mm-hmm. One time, the Office, it was Dwight Schrute. He said something, and I was like, man, like, it made me feel icky, but it was kind of true. He said something about like making something popular. You needed to get black people to like it first, so that way the white people would like it. And then once you get the white people to like it, you need to get the black people to not like it. It's just like basically saying white people want to do everything that black people do, basically. Like our culture. Oh, you're muted, babes. I'm
like, but technically, where is the lie?
Right. It's like
They dog us off for doing it, but once like braids down the back, Kim Kardashian did it. Oh, it's cool now, but it
right.
was
It's
ghetto.
Elvis
right.
Presley.
When J Lo had a booty, it was like, not so much. But then it was kind of like, oh, Kardashian made it like acceptable, and now J Lo's booty was like, oh, we like that booty. Like booties are okay, and everybody wants a booty now, and they're getting Brazilian butt lifts and things squirted into their derriere. I mean, hey, I'm not going to talk about anybody's, surgery. Do you? Not, it's not for me, but do you, if it makes you feel better, right? Like if you feel better about yourself, go for it. But basically, that's kind of how the trends go. If you can get people of color to like it, it gets popular, and then all of a sudden the culture vultures come in like, oh, we like that music too. And actually, not only do we like that music, now we want to play that music too. Like now we want a piece of it.
I mean, but if you look at even like rock and roll, that was
I didn't even know that. I did not know that until when I woke up, like 5 years ish ago, like country music. I didn't know that either. Like banjo.
Bill Haley in the comments.
Yeah, that bluegrass.
No,
that bluegrass. The Little Richard and all them. They brought the rock and roll and stuff like that. Because what this lady was, but she was the inventor of rock and roll. She was a Southern black lady. I can't think of her, but if y'all watch Bailey Sarian, she talked about her. And you like, man, I ain't even know that. But like a lot of songs that Elvis Presley made, Beach Boys were original black people that they stole from them.
Yeah, his controversial moves. It was just blues and soul music. He was just doing black people music, but he was white. So we got to put him on fucking Carson,
He made it acceptable, basically, to start, dancing with some soul, with gyrating your whole body. Like get the frick into it. You don't have to go like 2-step side to side. That was what it was about. And then once he made it popular, all of a sudden it's acceptable. I mean, it took time, obviously, but it sold. Oh, he sold. I mean, my mom to this very day loves that man.
Yeah, it's
generational, right? Like every generational sees the stupid prejudices of the previous generation and goes, those are stupid, and drops some of them while keeping others. Their children can say, hey, what they're doing is stupid, right? So every generation gets slightly more liberal, which is why we occasionally have regressive throwbacks, but that's a whole other issue. So, you've got black people running around making amazing music, and the old people are like, oh, it's black people. Nah. But the young people are like, it's amazing music. I'm going to listen to it. I don't care. And then the white record producers notice that the kids love the black people music. Why? If only there were a white person producing this. Now we could sell records to everyone. And behold, there's Elvis, who becomes like, they still call him the king of rock and roll. And all he did was be white while doing what the black people were doing,
Yep.
But he said, I don't mess with black people. I don't even want them to shine my shoes.
That's sad. And people thought he was a good person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people would put it out there that he's a, good old boy. No.
Well, so that's the motivated reasoning thing, right? Like when people want to worship someone for whatever reason, they'll hyper focus on one aspect of their identity and then just project that all the rest of who they are must be good.
Yeah.
And when they cannot deny that they've done bad things, then they make excuses for them. We see it right now with the Trump cult. The whole thing with like, oh, the Epstein thing, it's a hoax. Oh, the files are fake. Oh, the files are Democrat plans. Okay, the files are real, but it's not like she was 8 years old. Like, look at yourself, bestie. You're justifying pedophilia because you want to suck this man's dick so bad because he's a TV star. Holy shit.
Don't worry. I'm sorry, guys. I was squeezing Rainbow's butt. They said they had a big butt, and I said never trust a big butt.
Kelly put down her name. Rosetta. The name of the
oh, right there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Yeah,
Sister
thank you,
Rose.
Kelly.
That sounds familiar. I knew it was in my brain somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Your
I mean, there were a
package.
lot of black artists who made it big on radio and in records, and then when they started giving concerts, the white people panicked when they realized they were black.
Yeah,
You
you
couldn't
did.
tell
Yeah,
them.
yeah. So there's this guy. Can I think? I just even to glance through YouTube. He's this black guy. And he like redoes a lot of the rock songs. So he redid "Linger" off of Cranberries. It was amazing. I was like, okay. He just did a little tweak to it, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm
Put
like,
his
I
own
know
little
that song.
spin to
I
it.
done a little tweak to it, yeah. But it's really good. And a lot of white people be commenting on there, like, oh, this is fabulous. We like this.
That's another thing we've been seeing a lot in music is we'd see a lot of black artists who would take older songs and remix them or integrate parts or whatever, and it usually works. It's pretty fucking cool.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
it's
so
cool. I was like,
white
okay.
artists have tried doing the same thing. Like Kid Rock took Sweet Home Alabama and tried to make another ridiculous song out of it. And I'm like, no, that's not how you do it, though.
I know. Like, oh, don't F it up, bruh. Broski.
Yeah. Like,
Man.
stop trying to whiteify black things. Just enjoy the black things. It's okay. You can.
Yeah, right. Just enjoy them as they are. Consume them that way. Be a considerate consumer. Right? Like we should enjoy all kinds of music.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We should be consumers of every kind of music. That's what you're supposed to do. It's just when you're like appropriating and kind of trying to take it as your own, that's just weird. Don't do that.
Yeah. Where I live, it's like R&B. They don't really or like heavy like hip hop. If you like anything else, like I grew up like in all kind of music, and we get now it was a few passes like Tears for Fears. We listen to them, but a lot of the other groups, no. If I listen like the Guns N' Roses or something, they
Well,
would
I mean,
they would look at
Detroit
me
is where
crazy.
Motown came from. Of course, there's R&B in the streets. It's what the city is, you know.
They'd be like, no, you're not listening to Garth Brooks.
R&B is my favorite kind of music, but I do like I like EDM sometimes. I like chill. Like I kind of like a random stuff. If it's I don't know. I to me, if it's good music, I like it. I don't know how to put it other than that.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like most of my musical taste lies solidly within like the hard rock side of rock. But you look at my playlist, I've got stuff from that to like Broadway show tunes. Like I've got a bit of everything on my playlist.
I got some Disney.
Oh, yeah.
I've got some Disney tunes in my
Yeah.
playlist too.
I like
Because you may
weird
look up, be a man, you know? Oh, man. I'll be looking at me like, oh.
And that's
They
a
were like,
beautiful thing of creativity, and that's to go back to the worldviews. That's one of the differences
Just
in
listen.
the liberal worldview, where people have healthcare and food. We're able to create things. It's not just the people who are rich enough to have free time that make music. Everyone with an inclination can take a stab at making music. And yes, we'll get a lot of crappy music, but we'll get a lot more really good music too, because more people with talent will be doing it. And it's the same sort of thing. Whereas in the conservative, regressive, repressive worldview, only the ultra rich are ever allowed to do things like make music. And we saw this in the Dark Ages too. That's why it took the Renaissance hundreds of years to get us to the Enlightenment, because only the people wealthy enough to have leisure time could afford to look at telescopes and shit and stare at the stars all night. It took science a long time because only rich people could do it.
Yeah.
Damn. Them rich folk.
Everybody else was just worried about surviving the next month. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of how it is right now. We're all in survival mode, and that's intentional. You know,
Yeah.
if we're fighting for
I
our
had to
lives,
put my research on the back burner. I was
Yeah.
when the
You're fighting
election
for your
happened,
life,
I was
Ember.
in the middle of a genetics project.
You
And
don't have
like,
time for that kind of stuff, and
I can't get funding. I'm trying
you
not
got-
to die. Like okay, so this is the time scale of things, right? Like in June of last year, I was raising funds and trying to get external funding grants for a genetic research project. Come January, I'm trying to cover tens of thousands of dollars in medical bills. And also there's zero chance of getting funding because now the US government isn't interested in science, So funding's out the window. Now we're trying to pay medical bills. Now, 5 more months later, I'm not even worried about the medical bills. I'm trying to fucking pay for food.
Yeah.
Like another 5 months.
Yeah.
At this rate, I don't know, Bestie. I'm gonna be like,
I had to file bankruptcy like 2020s because of my medical bills. Even with insurance, it was like $50,000 with insurance because I had so many procedures. Not only myself, but two of my other children also were going through medical, not as bad as mine, but still had medical stuff. So I don't know how I was going to pay for all that. It was all of my insurance. So I had to file bankruptcy. My credit's back bad because of my stupid things of my own, but that's neither here nor there now. But yeah. So I understand why this medical insurance and medical care is set the way that it is.
Well, if the elite can keep us in chaos and confusion, then most people will only have time to fight for their lives. They won't be able to spend time doing pleasurable things or fighting for other people's lives and justice. All you're doing is trying to survive. Yeah, no, exactly. But that's really what's happened. That's why Netanyahu, like kind of back to top, that's why he wants to keep everything in chaos over there. He wants to continue bombing, even though there's a ceasefire. He continues to break those with Lebanon, with Gaza. Like they won't stop, because if they stop, then that's when people will have time to think and let everything settle and realize what they've been doing is, it's been a terrible disaster. So that's why these conversations to me are very important, because we keep each other enlightened and focused, but also like we care about each other. I care that you're fighting for your life, Ember. I care that it's a struggle right now, that people have done shitty things to you. And I don't want to stay silent knowing my friends are being harmed. So, we're all here to enjoy each other's company and have each other's backs.
So you gonna get our compound, and we can all live together in our lovely island. Now, who is it said? Math Pig said there's an island not too far from him that's for sale. So he said we can go there and live there. So we can be there in a nice island.
I've heard, so it's very difficult to get into Ireland right now, right? Like, I mean, I have, Irish, I'm half Irish, but if you can't prove direct relationship, like parent or grandparent were Irish citizens, then you have to go through the immigration process. And because there's so many people fleeing the United States, and there's so many people fleeing other countries that want to go to Ireland, they've really tightened things down, and it's very hard. But they do have certain outlying islands that are in danger of being abandoned. So if you're willing to go live on one of the remote islands and rebuild the communities there, then they will pay you a certain amount, up to the equivalent of $90,000. Now, there's possibilities. You get paid. There's already houses in these villages. We just have to fix them up.
Yes.
Okay.
Mad Pig Island, exactly. Yes.
Yes. Listen, as long as I can get internet and have running water, okay, we're cool. That's what I need, is internet and running water. I can do the rest. That's fine.
Yeah. But
we ain't got to worry about no clothes. We're gonna make all our clothes. I can do the cooking.
Meow. No.
It's true. It's true. But on the note of helping each other, if you want to support members in our community who are in trouble, not just me, but also Bree and Kyle and Naomi from the Horties over on Luxander's group of folks, all of the people that I'm aware of currently in need of help who have fundraisers and such, you can find them on the website too, betterthanember.com/help. Everybody I know of with a fundraiser, I put it there, so you can help whoever you want, or everybody, or whatever. So please do check that out, because we all appreciate not dying. And with that, I need to go punch out to get the next show ready. Hot topic coming up. We're starting Atheist Advent this year because we can do that now. So I've got an Advent calendar, I've got a Bible verse for us to reflect on, and I've got the first in a long line of secular accomplishments to look at. It should be fun. I hope you join us over at my place for Hot Topic. And with that, I'm going to pop out and get the next show ready to go while you guys zip up. Lovely to see you all.
See you there, Amber. Love you.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Toodles.
Was that a good stretch, Ryan?
Yes, I had to mute it because I was like, oh gosh, let me mute this because I need to get that all out. Sometimes you need to really good stretch, guys. It just makes you feel better. So do you guys have anything that you want to put out into the universe before we jettison?
Yes. You go first.
I was just going to say, my channel, Little Bowl Trades, follow me. I am doing, I've been doing some early morning streams, like pre-damn show streams for like crafty and just chit-chatting and stuff like that. And I plan on doing some more random live streams like in the afternoons or evenings. So follow me for those.
Sweet. And Kelly, you said you've got something coming up too?
Yes, I have something. So hold on, let me comment this comment. Okay. So Saturday at 11:30, I'm having a interview, my secular activism unfiltered interview with Dean Kruger, who is over the South African Atheist Republic.
Awesome.
I'll interview him.
Oh, nice.
And that's basically it on my channel. Me and Leo talked about doing a little political talk on our channel called From the Ground Up. I guess we'll be renaming it, I guess. So we'll be doing that soon once we get everything together. And I'm also started a, what do you call that? Segment, a short that I call Kelly's Rants, where I talk about something that's on my mind. So last week I talked about how I felt about human rights.
I love that, Kelly. Yes, I think that you should. I'm excited to hear your rants. I want to know what you're thinking and what's going on in your world. So, as far as for me, not much going on. Just a lot of shorts recently because I was so busy with doing the dumpster shit. So probably this week, maybe I'll be doing another live on Palestine. Not sure, but yeah. So I think that's all I've got to say. What a great conversation. I love you guys.
Always. I love you too.
Thanks to everybody in the audience for joining us today. You guys are amazing. John was a singer for Metal Mistress. Okay, honey. Maybe one day you'll sing for us.
You'll sing for us?
You can sing us out one night. All right, guys. Have a great day. Stay tuned for Ember, please. We'll see you tomorrow on the Daily Atheist Morning Show. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.